Good morning, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, doing your reading for Thursday the 16th of August, halfway through the month of August. It's a beautiful day in Sydney, Australia, for those people who are not in Australia or not in Sydney. So what's cracking for today, people? Okay, let's have a quick look. All right, so you've got the Hierophant coming up first. Now, this can mean a number of things, which every tarot card does. The Hierophant can talk about structures, schools, universities. It could be that you're hearing from a job, from a bigger institution. I also need to say, and I didn't say at the beginning of the video, that if this doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Like, move on to the next reader, because sometimes the reading won't be right for you for the day, and it's fine to move on. And the cards I'm using are Ciro Marchetti's cards, which are lots of detail and very beautiful. So, okay, so this can talk about something that's very structured. It can talk about moving to a very structured place in your life. It can be putting in a lot of organisation. It can be about feeling that you need this Hierophant in your life, that you need more structure, or it's what you're working towards. Let's look at the next card, see if it gives us any clarification on that. Okay, so we have the Justice in reverse. Now, these two cards together can talk about institutions that are legally bound, something to do with the police. It can be a hospital, it can be, a very large organisation, especially government. I get a very strong feeling of government here. The Justice card, of course, can talk of karma, matters coming up for you that you were rightly, you were supposed to get, was supposed to happen on your pathway. The Justice card actually is coming upside down. So if you're looking to hear from someone today, it may not happen today. It could mean that you have been, trying to put some structure in your life, but today is not the day for that. So, okay, so moving on here, Ace of Pentacles. It feels very, very much like a career reading for me. It can always be related to love, but this has a strong feeling of career. I feel like for some of you out there, it's possible that you won't hear about jobs. I think you've been maybe applying for jobs and you won't hear today. That doesn't mean you won't hear tomorrow or some other time, but today is not the day. It can also mean something illegally where you had money coming to you. Maybe that you won't hear about that today either. Whatever this is, and it's obviously something very strong in some people's lives, the chances are pretty good that there won't be an answer today. If you're waiting on this money, if you're waiting on this material, it could be something in the material realm, as I said, a job, whatever it is, don't expect it today. Okay, that's okay, because you're feeling pretty good at the moment. This card can represent female, male. The energy is that of often a Leo, Aries or Sagittarius. She's very beautiful. She stands in her element. She's tall and proud. She's a woman who knows what she wants. She's extremely passionate about everything and feeling what's in front of us here. It's like she's unfazed by this situation. So I feel like you were prepared for this. I think in your heart you knew it wasn't going to happen today. So whatever it is you're waiting on, today's not the best day for it. Okay, it could be a house move. It could be that you were looking to have a new start somewhere, but due to some conflict, maybe this isn't going to go ahead. It could be that you were looking at having a structured relationship with someone and that you were waiting for them to call you to say, yes, I want to make this stable, I want to make this permanent. You're okay with it, that you haven't heard. But here, looks like you were really waiting for a new start and prepared for the battle, but it's just not coming in. The Knight of Wands here is coming up in reverse, which says to me that you probably, whatever it is you're waiting on the other side, they're not feeling quite the same way as you do. I think they're a bit mixed up in their feelings. And the Knight of Wands, he can talk about, or that card can talk about someone who rushes in and rushes out. We talk about the player card. It could be in this particular scenario that you've maybe been seeing someone and you want to go full time with it and have a fresh start with them, but the other person may not be feeling it at this time, or may be confused about that decision and sitting waiting for some clarity on this situation. So at the moment they're in this sort of thinking space, and you're yet to hear. Oh, hello, we have another knight here, and the Three of Cups. Okay, for some people it could be that you're waiting for someone to leave a very structured relationship, waiting for someone to leave a marriage or a long-term relationship. I think you've maybe been having, and this only applies to some people, of course, there may have been a relationship that you've had that you want to move further on, but the other person's having trouble walking away from it. It doesn't mean they don't feel the same as you. They're just unable to, at this time. And it could be due to money concerns. It could be due to, being unsure whether this is the right direction to go. We do have the Three of Cups here, which sometimes can talk of a three-party relationship. I feel like whatever it is, there's this card of, winning at all costs, at the detriment of others. And I feel like you're in that place at the moment where you want this really, really badly. And although you're prepared to sit back and wait, this is what you want. I'm not so sure how the other person's feeling, other than the fact it's sort of coming out Knight of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse, which sort of could still happen, because both of these talk about a passionate offer. They talk about love, moving forward. And I feel like the energy of this suggests that they're just not in the right place at the moment, but be patient, it will come. But then we get the Four of Cups. So whether this is a job, relationship, or something being offered to you, whether that's a house move, something coming to you, you're not happy with what comes out of it. It's almost like you've been waiting for this, you're waiting for the other person to come back to you, but it just looks like to me that the offer they're coming back with isn't what you thought it was. Okay, so even though you've been offered a new start, even though there's been a lot of disruption around this, when they do come forward, it still may not be the offer you want. So, for example, if you had put in a bid on a house, the house is, the people who own the house are deliberating around what sort of price they want for the house. You're hanging to move forward, you love this house, you want to go in that direction, but maybe they don't take your offer. It could be you deciding that when this person comes forward out of love, that they're only offering you more of what you've already had, and you may not be happy with that. You may want the stability, you may want the long-term picket fence, white wedding dress, marriage, whatever, and they're not offering that. And you are very dissatisfied at the end here. I'm just going to get a couple of clarifiers on this Four of Cups. Okay. All right. So whatever this is, this Four of Cups, the reason that somebody's not going to accept it is because they feel like they've put a lot of work into this. They feel like they've invested a lot of time and energy. Something may not be being said that needs to be said. You're quite upfront with that. You're ready to offer your pentacle. The other person isn't. So it's almost like you don't want to put the work in anymore. It's very, very possible you could walk away from this relationship, offer, house move, because you feel like you've done everything you want to do and you're just not interested in keeping going with it. What's the karma on this? Let's just have a look at how the karma sees this. Okay, so they're talking about doing things in an unconventional way. This is the card of Aquarius. Maybe now is sort of time to take a hangman moment and just sort of go back and, and you take your time to make this decision. Maybe it's not the best decision for you at the moment. It might be wise if you sit back and look at all the options, because the Karma card is talking about you looking at things in an unconventional way. Maybe it needs a different offer, maybe you need a different house, maybe you need to leave this person, that they obviously don't feel the same as you and you need to move on. Whatever it is, it's definitely asking for you to look at things in a very different way. Thank you, folks. I hope you enjoyed your reading for Thursday the 16th of August.